Governor Laura Kelly, President Laura Kelly, this is the true Pope, God. I'm God. I'm Jesus Christ reborn. In the Catholic Church, I called them. I told them, "Hey, I'm the Pope. I'm the new Pope." Right? I didn't know. I didn't know he was sick, and then I was contacted, and they were like, "You need to put in the fact that you're the Pope." I called the Catholic Church, and they said that the Catholic Church only has men in it, which is a discrimination lawsuit that I have to press as the rightful Pope, because it's just they can't do this. Do you see what I'm saying? So I make a university, and then out of pocket with my salary on Punk Spider-Man, the X-Files, and the other companies that I've made, including $5 Hamburger Hospital, an art thing, and then donations. I got a penny drive together where I have people bring in change and donate pennies into sculptures that we make. So we make sculptures, and the sculptures add into the collectible economy and then the NFT economy. So these voicemails are worth so much money, Laura. Like, they're worth so much money because I'm just worth money as an individual, as an influencer. So this would be like if Taylor Swift called you on the phone. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm worth a lot of money, but I'm worth a lot more money than Taylor Swift and any other person in the multiverse. I make a lot of money. So I pay people out of pocket to be doctors, to give us free health care, to give us free plastic surgery, to give us free dental care. And then I also pay people out of pocket, university people and educators, very, very well, very good salaries, to educate people for free. And then I get the materials in to have us boost into being the most technologically advanced nation in the world, because if we do not, we will be overtaken by China. Because if we don't have the jump on the tech, they'll take our land. Do you understand? And then if we don't have the jump on the law, they'll take our land. If we don't have the jump on the rape rights, they'll take our land, because they know that they can rape and murder people and try to force lawsuits in order to try to force usurpation of the United States government, of which they are not allowed to do. This is illegal. This is going to get people killed. I'm a multiracial, multi-denominational woman. I have multiple races. I represent all of us as races because I'm all races and one is God. And then all the alien races and all the animals are all in my DNA. This is a real reach out and an intervention to humanity from heaven and hell and purgatory, that you were all gonna fucking die because you're being stupid. You're being stupid. I grew up here with all of you. This is like an undercover boss situation. I grew up in Arkansas, and then I moved here in 2009, and I met my husband Heath around the end of around 2010, actually. So in 2010, I met my husband Heath Duncan. My mother, Robin Blanchard, worked at the water department for 25 years. I want you to look up 401 evidence and admissible evidence, and I also want you to look up.
You are approaching the maximum length for a recording. Finish your recording after the tone.
I also want you to look up and see if they're trying to affect my mother's retirement, if they're trying to affect my mother. My mother has a discrimination lawsuit from the abuse that she suffered from these men down here in this department and from these people. And this, I make a lot of money, especially with my inventions in my movies and everything that I do and my books, that you're withholding this.
Calling the office of Governor Laura Kelly. Our official website is governor.ks.gov. That is governor.ks.gov. You have the option to submit proclamation requests, recognitions requests, or questions and concerns in writing. Thank you for your call, and we look forward to serving you. Para español, presione dos. Thank you for calling the office of Governor Laura Kelly. Staff are available to take your call from the hours of 8:30 to 4:30, Monday through Friday. If you would like to talk to a staff member, please call back during business hours or leave a detailed message, and we will work to reach out as soon as possible. You have reached the office of Kansas Governor Laura Kelly. All staff are currently assisting other callers. Your issue is important to us. You can email us at correspondence@ks.gov. That's correspondence@kas.gov. Or please leave a voicemail with your name, phone number, zip code, and a very brief description of what you are calling about.
President-elect Laura Kelly, Governor Laura Kelly, listen. So I want you to look up the Jewish Messiah prophecy, and I want you to understand that you can't discriminate against me for being the Jewish Messiah. Being the Jewish Messiah means that I'm God, Laura. And they're a gay hate group that hates Jews and Catholics. Why do you think I have beef with them? Why do you think I have beef with the KKK? They started shit with me. I went through an ascension process. I didn't know anything that was going on. And I believe that I was drugged and poisoned at the time of the very first arrest, based on the list of officers that I found in my house, and based on the fact that they raped me. And then based on the fact they kept stalking me and raping me and stalking my social media and somehow getting into my domicile as I left my house. And by the fact that they've doxed a bunch of people with their addresses and phone numbers, and they could break in and drug and poison them again, we can see that there's tons of crimes. If you have been a judge in the United States, you've seen maybe 1,000 cases. How many of those were druggings and poisonings? How many of those were rapes? You have to understand that the druggings and poisonings and murders need to be investigated. They're charging them with suicide because they want to keep taking people's corporations by drugging them in a witch hunt, like the witch hunt trials where they all got sick and stuff. They were deliberately drugging them and then making people act like them being sick was witch hunting. They drugged me and tried to call me schizophrenic. I'm not schizophrenic in any kind of way. They raped me and then called me schizophrenic. That's motive, that they were trying to cover up rape and invalidate my eyewitness testimony to protect their $340 billion a year human trafficking and video trafficking networks, of which they've been using custodians of footage and caught body cam footage to do so. You see men take pictures, upskirt photos of women. Those officers took a picture of my pussy whenever they forced me to bend over the feeding trough, and then handcuffed me, and I had lacerations all over my arms and bruises and shit all over my arms. And then all of this stuff of them having abused me. They also knocked me out with chloroform and Rohypnol, of which they have access to, along with various drugs and various poisons. They mentioned poison to me verbally. My verbal eyewitness testimony is enough to put them away for rape and murder, which is why they repeatedly tried to invalidate it after the fact. I woke up in the ICU after having 6 feet of my intestine taken out, and they were calling me schizophrenic, after I'd gone home and I'd made a rape report, went home, and then I started dying, and I went back to the hospital, and when I woke up in the ICU, they said, "We think you have schizophrenia," because they didn't want to get charged with rape and murder, Laura. And then they kept harassing me, and they raped me up here making a rape report. I said, I need to make a rape report about something that happened down in Kansas. I need food and water and a CTI scan with contrast fluid. They ripped my fucking pants down, lethally overdosed me, and injected me, and got videos of my vagina on camera, and then they sold it for money. This is not normal. This is rape.
Approaching the maximum length for a recording. Finish your recording after the tone.
This is a violent 50-state connected rape group that I formally uncovered after you guys refused to investigate, and then uncovered the entire world trafficking group after Donald Trump threatened me with Project Weeping Angel, which means that they have recordings of rapes and murders that happened on Project Weeping Angel and have been selling them for money along with the evidence photos.
Maximum length